y'all, welcome to Robyn on the Farm. Today I'm making a really simple traditional white bread that's called rich egg bread. Now you might think, oh, I don't really want my bread to taste like eggs, but no, this bread doesn't taste like eggs. The eggs are in there to help enrich the dough. Now different things like milk and butter and oil and eggs help to enrich your dough, which helps it to get softer, fluffier, gives it a better texture, better chew. So this bread recipe has 3 eggs in it, and it will just give you a really great enriched dough. So I really like this bread. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you how to make it. I'm gonna use my bread machine to make this entirely from start to finish. So I'm gonna throw everything into my bread pan and let my bread machine do all the work for me. This one works great like that. If you'd rather use the dough cycle on your bread machine, you can do that and then just get it out and shape it when the dough cycle's over and throw it in your oven to bake. You can also make this by hand. You can do this any way you want, but I'm gonna throw it all in my bread machine and let it do the work for me because I have a busy day today. So let's just get started. I am gonna start with a cup of milk. So this is another enricher, so this is a really great rich dough. So 1 cup of milk. I pop this in my microwave for 30 seconds just to take the chill off. Next, I want a 1/3 cup of melted butter. So this is 5 tablespoons of melted butter. So just throw that right into your bread pan with the milk. And next we have 3 eggs. I went ahead and cracked them so I wouldn't have to wash my hands. 3 eggs, just put them right into your bread machine. I didn't stir them up, I just cracked them and put them in there. Your bread machine will get them all worked out just fine. Next we want 2 tablespoons of sugar. So this is just white plain sugar. Just throw that right in there with your other ingredients. Next we want 4 cups of flour. I am going to use my bread flour. Like I always say, you can use all-purpose flour if that's what you have, but I'm going to use bread flour. I just like bread flour better. It just gives your bread higher rise, better texture, but if you have all-purpose flour and that's all you have, go ahead and use that. Oh, I'm making a mess today. Okay, so 4 cups of flour. This is my bread flour. This is going to be a 2-pound loaf. Okay, so 4 cups of flour right into your bread pan. Next ingredient is salt. So we want 2 teaspoons of salt. Throw that right on in there on top of your flour. And then our last ingredient is yeast. This is my active dry yeast. You're gonna want 1.5 teaspoons. So just throw that right on in there. You don't have to make a well or anything like that, but you can if that's how you always do it. So 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. This is my active dry yeast. You can use instant yeast, rapid rise. I always keep this in my freezer and just get it out right in time to make bread, and it just stays fresh that way. So those are all of our ingredients already. So I am just gonna throw this into my bread maker right here. And I'm just gonna choose a basic white loaf, press start, and it's starting to knead. It's gonna mix it up, let it rise, bake it all in here. And in about 3 hours, I'm gonna have a glorious loaf of rich egg bread, and it's gonna be so good. So in just a couple minutes, I'm gonna check on my ball of dough and let you see exactly how it should look. I will show it to you then. Okay, my bread machine's only been going for about 4 minutes, and I just peeked in to check out my ball of dough. This is looking really good. I just always like to check and make sure all the flour is off the sides and the edges. And sometimes I'll have to go in with the rubber spatula like this and just kind of scoop it off the edges. But this is looking good, no problems here. So I'm gonna just let this go. It doesn't look too wet, too sticky, too dry. If yours looks too wet and it's sticking really bad all over the sides, go ahead and add about a 1/4 cup of flour until it looks more like this. If it's looking really dry for some reason, I'd add about a tablespoon more of water until it's looking like this too. Okay, so now I'm just gonna shut the top and let my bread machine do all the work. My bread machine just beeped and the bread is done. Let's check it out. Oh my goodness, it looks amazing. It rose really good. It looks great. I like it nice and light, so I set it to light crust. So that looks perfect to me. If you like yours darker, you can set it to dark or medium, but it is time to get it out. Okay, it's been a little more than 3 hours. The bread is ready. I just got it out of the bread machine. Doesn't it look great? This is our traditional white, rich egg bread. It is great for sandwiches. Oh, it's just great bread. Okay, and like I said, I made it completely in the bread machine. I let it mix it up, knead it, rise, and bake all in the bread machine, and it turned out great. Do you see that? Oh yes, this is nice bread. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just rub butter all over it. Once I got the bread started in the bread machine, I just shut the top and I didn't look at it again until it just beeped. I was out running errands and getting stuff done, and so that is the beauty of the bread machine. I could just throw everything in the bread pan, took maybe 5 minutes, set the bread machine, and let it bake it all for me. And I've been getting other stuff done while the bread was baking. I just love my bread machine for that. So this rich egg bread looks amazing. It's soft and fluffy. I can feel it. Oh, it's gonna be good. Okay, so like I always say, you should totally let your bread cool for the best crumb and texture and the best slicing, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut into it just like I always do because I don't have that patience and I'm ready to eat this bread. So I'm just gonna cut into it so you can see it. I wanted to be sure you could see it. Do you see the texture? Do you see the crumb? Do you see the softness and the fluffiness? Oh, this is so good. This is such good bread. My favorite is the crust, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat this little slice right here. Very, very good. Even though this has 3 eggs in it, it doesn't taste like egg at all. The egg really only was for the texture and the fluffiness, that enriching product. So this turned out amazing. I will put the recipe for this traditional white rich egg bread down in the description so you can make it. Thank you for being here with me on Robyn on the Farm, and I will see you next time.